Ahmadinejad was saying there, but I think the main thing that struck me, very strong, very assertive interview, particularly against both Israel and the US, and showing no concern whatsoever, dismissing any chances of any kind of military operation from either of those countries on Iran.
That's right. He sounded very relaxed and quite assured, but he didn't present the ultimatums, the popular threats, and that kind of thing. In fact, surely I could attach one word to each one of these things he mentioned. When he spoke of Iraq, he spoke of stability. That's what he wants. Of Israel, he spoke of doom. Of Bush, divisiveness. Of the region, harmony. The West on the nuclear question, deception. Of the US, it's a question of election. On Lebanon, it's resistance. And in Iran, just don't worry about the Iranian people.
Well, he did say about Israel that there were a bunch of murderous terrorists who weren't going to last long, and if they wouldn't dare attack Iran, because if they did, he would give them, quote, a very strong response.
That's right. You know, Ahmadinejad thinks of Israel in terms of an ideological, philosophical ground. He thinks of it as a colonial entity. He doesn't think of it as a nation sovereign state. So he's always thinking of this ideology that's going to collapse, like communist Soviet Union or like apartheid South Africa. He thinks of it as a regime that's going to collapse, not as a nation state that is recognized by the international community. So he's always speaking about it as something that's going to, as like a fleeting phenomena in the region that sooner or later it's going to disappear. And he does not take all its threats against Iran seriously.
Okay, well, let's cross to our correspondent, Ali Reza Ranahi, who is in Tehran with us, for us. Ali Reza, I know that you were listening to that speech throughout. What will Iranians make of that interview by President Ahmadinejad, and do they share his confidence that what he does and what he says will have no military consequences on Iran?
I'm not sure if Iranians would think that, but I'm pretty sure that Iranians will see in President Ahmadinejad what they liked about him in the first place. It seems like President Ahmadinejad is smiling in the face of threat and danger, and he's just saying, trying to raise the spirits of the people, saying that all these threats are for domestic use, whether it's in the United States or in Israel. So he's not afraid, and he's, just by looking at his face, people find the man that they liked so much 2.5 years ago when they elected him as president.
Okay, but domestically, during that interview, he was challenged on his handling of the economy, and Iran has suffered from high unemployment and inflation and petrol rationing and the like. He has been criticized within Iran for that, hasn't he?
Absolutely. He has been criticized by both his supporters and his critics. It seems like that's the irony for President Ahmadinejad. He wasn't first elected by the people to go out of the country and try to solve the problems of Iran's foreign policy and diplomatic problems that Iran may have suffered, because Iran didn't have much of diplomatic problems before he was elected. But Iranians wanted a politician like themselves who could understand their sufferings and their economical challenges day-to-day lives and trying to make ends meet. But President Ahmadinejad has been so busy in solving the international issues like the Iranian nuclear standoff with the West and countering the threats of the Americans and their efforts to sabotage Iran's relationship with its neighbors, that he has somehow forgotten what his main concern should be, and he has been reminded by both his opponents and his supporters alike that this is what he has to be more concentrated on. If he forgets about even people's day-to-day life problems, he's going to pay the price.
One of the things that he was asked was about his reaction to the message by President Bush to the Iranian people that they should replace him. He dismissed that as a message of confrontation. But is he confident, Ali Reza, that he has the support of his people in issues like his stance over the nuclear program?
I think he is confident about that, and he will not have to wait very long. Until February, we will have a a very big demonstration in Iran to show support for Iran's nuclear programs, and that will be somehow the support for Iran's leadership stance in the nuclear standoff with the West. But the issue for President Ahmadinejad is that this is not his achievement in the nuclear case. It's the whole Islamic government's achievement in the nuclear case, and he cannot somehow interpret whatever the people say in the support of Iran's nuclear approach or Iran's achievement in the nuclear case. He cannot interpret whatever people say as a support for him and his program.
Ali Reza, thank you very much indeed for that. And that's the end of this extended broadcast in which we brought you live an exclusive interview by President Ahmadinejad of Iran. The news hour coming up next.